All right, we got an hour of the association coming off a Celtics dominant win against the Milwaukee Bucks. Thomas, Rudy Gay, Mike Yam with you. All right, a lot to unpack here. The headliner story heading into this game was Giannis making his return. There's plenty of time to talk about that, but you guys are kind of going back and forth. Look, people lose games, and that happens here. No Jaylen Brown in this one. You lose by 27. Rudy, you say you don't even want to go out and eat after a game like this.
Nah, this was a tough one, man. It was just basically target practice for Boston.
Yeah.
They were moving the ball, knocking down open shots. It was a bad defensive game for Milwaukee.
Yeah, you would think a team like the Bucks would have a little more energy, especially with Giannis coming back, and then with Jaylen Brown and those guys being out and playing a back-to-back. You would think they would put themselves in position to make it a competitive game, and it just wasn't that. So these are one of the games where you have short memory. It's a bad game. You flush it down the toilet. You move on to the next one.
Yeah, I don't want to jump the gun here, but on the pregame show, you felt like the postseason and Milwaukee sort of flirting with that play-in game. You both kind of felt like, hey, it'd be almost odd not to see Giannis in the playoffs. And I know, once again, really small sample size. Dude missed 15 games here. This didn't look good. Are we pulling back any of the thoughts about Milwaukee in the play-in?
I mean, look, this is obviously his first game back.
Sure.
So he's not the Giannis that we've seen, but, you know, he started out aggressive. That's what you want to see from him. You see that he's healthy, and that's the biggest part. Now, when he gets his feet up under him, hopefully he can get some help, somebody else to pick up some slack, and they can go on a run. But, you know, it's going to be a lot on Giannis.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough. I think if you really think about it, he's been out for 15 games, and before that it was all the trade talks and all that, like, negative energy around the whole team. I think it's just it's been a long season for them, and if they're going to turn it around, they got to be right now, but not with a loss like this. That was a tough one, and that hurts. That hurts.
Look, and if you're just joining us, let's show you the highlight right now and explain how it all shaked out, because I think, as Rudy described it, felt like target practice from three-point range for the Boston Celtics. Giannis basically about 5 weeks because of that calf injury. 15 games. That's his first bucket. I hope he start, though.
Yeah, he looked normal at the beginning for sure.
Another one.
Downhill.
It's just kind of Giannis.
Like a freight train.
Yeah.
Man.
And I think you see moments like this if you're a Bucks fan. You say, all right, maybe there's a run here for this squad, but...
You know what? It's hard to miss those kind of stuff.
It is. You know who didn't miss a whole lot? Hugo Gonzalez in this game.
Great game.
Yeah, he did. Career high in points and rebounds on the night for him. Yeah, all right. 18 points for him.
You think about it.
He got 16 boards.
Celtics had 20 made threes. Like, that's the difference right there. While you're shooting tough twos, they're making easy, wide-open threes.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, look how easy that is.
Yeah.
I mean, Hugo had a good game. He's still young. Rim rocker.
To be fair, Giannis has done that to a lot of dudes out there.
He can't do nothing about that.
Go right through you. You got to make a wall. Got to make a wall when you see Giannis.
You know, he was on a minutes restriction in this game. Peyton Pritchard, splash.
It was close to the buzzer beater. You know, he's good for that.
Yeah, he didn't have a point against Philadelphia. That hadn't happened to him all season long. Got some buckets in this one. 25 points for him. Dude hit 5 triples in this game. I mean, they just ran away with this thing. I mean, the three-point barrage, they had 23s in this one. They were 20 of 50 from distance. I mentioned Giannis on that minutes restriction. Goes for 19 and 11 in this game in 25 minutes worth of play. There was at one point, you turned to me and said, you're surprised he was even out there in the third quarter. We're hovering like 20-plus deficit at one point in this game. I know you guys said, hey, like, he came out aggressive, but outside of some of the dunks, just in terms of the mobility and the movement, what did you see from him?
I mean, he didn't look like he's been injured. Like, he got where he wanted. I think there's going to be a little rust as to these first few games he's coming back, and a little bit of they got to adjust to how he's going to play. But for the most part, he went downhill. He got to the basket like he usually does. He did the things he usually does. So I'm not surprised, and that's a positive for the Milwaukee Bucks, knowing that he didn't really think about anything that he had to do. He really got in the paint, was aggressive, made plays, and it looked like the normal Giannis that we usually see.
Yeah, I think the main thing when you come back from an injury like that and being out so long, The biggest thing is timing. You're getting your timing back, getting your legs under you.
Sure.
The other thing is spacing, and that's for your teammates and also yourself, knowing your spots, where to get the ball, and the team knowing where you like the ball. So a lot of times he was forcing some things on two people that can be changed with practice, with him being out there, just knowing where he likes the ball and just getting out of his way.
Yeah, from the Boston Celtics perspective, and I know I had asked you guys this in the pregame, and then the numbers are going to bear it out even more significantly. Without Jaylen Brown, they now improved to 6-1 on the season. Coming into this game, net offensive ranking was +5 when he's on the floor, +13. It's going to be even bigger now based off of a dominant 27-point win. Do we just say, hey, like, really good team, deep squad? I mean, no Jason Tatum, exceeding expectations. The Tatum conversation, we can table that for just a moment here. But IT, like, this good win for him.
That's just championship experience. I think they got the mentality is when somebody's down, is next man up. And they know how to win games, so that's important. And then they have a really good coaching staff that I know prepares them really well for games like this. So you got to expect big games out of Peyton Pritchard after he had a 0-point game against Philadelphia, for him to come in and have 25 and 9. And then Hugo Gonzalez have 18 and 16 rebounds, and he's 20 years old he had the assignment of guarding Giannis to start the game. So those are positives that the Celtics can take from this game. And you see that they got a deep team, man, and they got guys that know how to win basketball games, and that says a lot about them.
I mean, when you have guys out and you're still able to win games like this, there's two things. It's leadership, and whether that's whether that's Peyton Pritchard or Derek White or coach. It could be both. You know, I think you're seeing Derek White and Peyton Pritchard both having nine assists, which means they're leading the team. They're getting everybody in their spots, because these are guys that probably haven't played together, which is a guy that's just got to the team. So they're really leading the team, and they have obviously championship aspirations. So with that being said, next man up, let the players figure out how to play together, and let the leaders lead.
You know, I almost feel like some of the calculus in my head around Tatum is now changing just based off of, and once again, I don't want to make these grand observations based off of one performance, but IT and Rudy, both of you guys are touching on something, championship pedigree, understanding like what it takes to win and try to get to an NBA Finals here. I'm almost wondering, for all like the naysayers on Tatum coming back, and just wondering like, hey, how much do you actually help your team? Are you going to hurt? Based off of a performance like this when Jaylen Brown's not in there and like guys understanding their roles, there's a part of me that says maybe Jason Tatum fits in a little bit better than I had anticipated, maybe even just a couple days ago.
I don't think so. I think that the outcome of that game, I don't think they would have lost that game. I think with games like this, you go towards trying to get people acclimated, and I think that's probably what would have happened this game if Jason had played. So I'm not sure if the same outcome would have happened. I still do think they're a better team, but that's the thing about coming back from injury. Like, you have to allow people to make their mistakes and get through the aches and pains of being out and then coming back in.
Yeah,
I agree with that. Like, I don't think it helps that much, but obviously having a Jason Tatum on the floor is going to help everybody else because of the attention he brings. But the time period of where everybody has to adjust, because what's going to happen is if he does come back, all the other guys around him is going to be passing the ball and just waiting to see what he does. And I think that's the opposite of how their system is and their offense is. And I think that adjustment period, it could take a while, just because that's a main focal point in your offense in Jason Tatum. And then they've been playing one way the whole year. So it's a tough dynamic. But like I said, I've been in those shoes where you're 27, 28 years old, you feel like you're invincible. You want to get back and play because you missed the game and the game has missed him. It's just, that's a tough call right there.
I'm going to tell you one thing. There's nothing, as an athlete, there's nothing worse than rehab. There's nothing worse than rehabbing an injury and having to watch the teams play. And being in the gym early and working on your injury and then getting on the court and then doing cardio and then watching the game and then maybe have to do something afterwards, lifting weights. And you know, at some point you want to realize that I'm doing this for a reason.
Sure.
And I know Jason Tatum's like, look, I've been doing enough of this. I'm ready to just play and be a part of, you know, winning and being with my teammates, because it can be very like you're isolated. In that you're by yourself. Basketball's a team sport. Sure. You're by yourself in the gym. You may go against some coaches or whatever to get in shape, but it's nothing like playing in the NBA game.
Okay, so what's that threshold? We got about 20 games or so left. I'm looking at the record here. At what point, because both you guys said, hey, postseason comes, like this is when it gets real. You told me the same thing. Hey, they're going to test this dude, and in a lot of ways, maybe even pick on him on the defensive side. So in terms of the acclimation process, and I know it's different for everyone, but for the team perspective, how many games in the regular season do you want to see him play?
It's tough because it could take 5 games, it could take 10, it could take till the end of the playoffs. Like, he's coming back from a major injury to where, like, he's an athletic basketball player that needs to move and needs to get places on the court. So, like, testing that against the best players in the world is tough to do from the jump. So, it'll be, I mean, he's